we just did a unit on quadratics and solving them. And then now we are going to graph them. So we first have some vocab that we need to look at. First is x and y intercepts, which hopefully this is old news for you. X-intercepts are where the graph crosses the x-axis. So you can guess the y-intercepts are where the graph crosses the y-axis. There we go. So, x and y-axis. So here is your coordinate plane. If your graph is like this, your x-intercepts are right there. And then if you have your y, your graph and your y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Okay? Now, line of symmetry. All quadratics look like a parabola. That's why I drew a U. A parabola is symmetric. So if you would fold it in half, it's going to be the same on one side as it is on the other. So it is a, vertical line in the middle of the parabola. So I know that's not exactly in the middle and my graph is not symmetrical because it's just a sketch, but that is about where the line of symmetry would be. Okay. Now the vertex, it is the minimum or maximum, the highest or lowest point on the graph. So let's just flip it for fun. This would be your vertex. It's the highest point on this graph. Okay? All right, so those are all the things that we are going to find in order to graph your parabola. So first, I am going to give you all of those characteristics, and all you have to do is just graph. Okay? So you don't have to worry about finding anything right now for this section. So x-intercepts, 1, 0, and -3, 0. So 1, 0, and -3, 0. Your line of symmetry is x equals -1. So what I want you to do is I want you to draw a vertical dotted line on x equals -1. Your vertex is -1, -5. So that is, your vertex is always going to be on your line of symmetry. They will have the same x values. That's important. And then your y-intercept is 0, -2. So there is your 0, -2. Now this should make sense for your parabola. Now, if you look here, there's 4 points. I want you to mirror this point, okay? So if it's 1 unit away, I go 1 unit away on the other side. Now this should make you have a very nice parabola. And there you go. So all those pieces coming together. So here is another example. So let's see if you can find all those pieces and graph them correctly. So pause the video, see if you can draw your graph, see if it matches my graph. So now in this case, I only have 3 points because your y-intercept and your x-intercept are the same because they're at 0, 0. So that means that there's no other point to mirror. So your graph looks like that. So you might have 3 or you might have 5 points. But that is what your graph should look like when you have everything done. So eventually I'm going to give you an equation up here, and you need to find all of those things. Okay? So we're going to do that in our next section though. So this is just practicing what all those things are and what they look like on the graph.